Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nerds of the Multiverse channel. Today we're diving deep into every upcoming project in the James Gunn-led DCU. That's right, we'll cover all the confirmed release date films and shows, plus the ones that are still in early development or the rumor stage. And we'll look at castings, story details, rumors, how they all interconnect, and everything that you need to know. So sit back, relax, and let's get into this breakdown. Before we dive in project by project, here is our roadmap. So 2026, we have Supergirl, which is scheduled for June 26, 2026. Then we have the Lanterns TV series, which is aiming for 2026. It was going to be coming out before Supergirl, but now it has been moved to after Supergirl. So we don't have the exact date on that yet, but it is still next year. And then we have Clayface, which is scheduled for September 11th, 2026. Then we move on to 2027, and the only confirmed date that we have so far is for Man of Tomorrow, which is set for July 9th of 2027. And here is a list of all of our projects that are in development with no release date confirmed yet. The Authority, The Brave and the Bold, Swamp Thing, the untitled Wonder Woman project, the untitled Teen Titans project, Bane and Deathstroke, and a Sergeant Rock film. And then as far as shows go, we have Booster Gold, Waller, Paradise Lost, a Blue Beetle series, Creature Commando Season 2, and Mr. Miracle. Let's jump into each one, starting with the projects with release dates. Starting off with Supergirl. Like we mentioned, it is going to be released on June 26, 2026. The director is Craig Gillespie, and the writers are Anna Nogueira, and producers are James Gunn and Peter Safran. Now let's talk about the cast. We have Millie Alcock as Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. She made her first appearance in Superman at the very end of the movie when she came to pick up Krypto. Then we have Matthias Schoenaerts as Krim of the Yellow Hills, and he will be the villain of the movie. We have Eve Ridley as Ruthie Mary Knoll, David Krumholtz as Zor-El, Emily Beecham as Allura Enze, and it is going to be pretty huge when we get to see Jason Momoa back in the DC universe. But this time, not as Aquaman, he will be playing Lobo. Now let's talk about the premise and tone for the movie. It will be based off the comic miniseries Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King. And the storyline will follow Kara as she grows up under trauma after Krypton's destruction, as she becomes a hardened version of Supergirl who travels across the galaxy with more vengeance than typical heroism. And according to many reports, the poster for the film teased a shift in tone because we see the tagline "Look Up" for Superman, and it has now been graffitied to say "Look Out," suggesting a more rebellious, aggressive Supergirl than what audiences may have expected. The tone is described as a Western sci-fi/revenge drama. And this film is pretty important because it expounds upon the history of the Kryptonians in the DCU, and it launches the super family in a new way with a big solo heroine film. And it will shape the universe's expectations. Some stuff that we still do not know is the supporting cast details and how this ties into other DCU entries, and we don't know what the exact tone and style will be going forward for this character. And saving the best for last, it is also rumored that David Corenswet's Superman may have a cameo in this movie. And if that's the case, man, it's going to be awesome to see them possibly team up. Next, we have the Lanterns TV series. As we mentioned earlier, this show has been delayed to after Supergirl, but it is still coming in 2026. We just don't have the exact release date yet. But the series will be on HBO Max. Its showrunner is Chris Mundy. Its writers are Damon Lindelof and Tom King. And here is the confirmed cast. We have Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan, Aaron Pierre as John Stewart, Nathan Fillion will reprise his role as Guy Gardner, Kelly MacDonald will be Sheriff Carey, Jason Ritter will be Billy Macon, and Garrett Dillahunt will be William Macon. And it is also rumored that Ulrich Thompson will be playing the villain Sinestro in this show. The tone will be described as a buddy cop meets cosmic murder detective series, which honestly sounds pretty cool, pretty funny, and sounds like it'll be pretty enjoyable. The premise and the tone of the show is there will be two Green Lanterns who investigate a murder on Earth that spirals into cosmic stakes. The importance of the show is that it brings Green Lantern mythos into the DCU in a major way, and it gives TV a side of cosmic depth. The unknowns are obviously the exact release date, any more supporting cast or guest stars, and how it connects to the films. But this will be a nice passing of the torch from Hal Jordan to John Stewart, who most likely will end up being a member of the future Justice League of the DCU. Then wrapping up our theatrical slate for 2026, we have Clayface, which releases on September 11th, 2026. It will be directed by James Watkins, and the writers are Mike Flanagan and Hussein Amini. And here is the confirmed cast so far. Tom Rhys-Harries as Matt Hagen, Clayface. Naomi Ackie as Dr. Caitlin Bates. Mike Minghella as a Gotham City detective. Eddie Marsan as an undisclosed role. And here will be the premise and tone. Actor Matt Hagen is disfigured by an experiment and becomes Clayface. And the film will lean on body horror. And it is also said that the storyline will be an adaptation of the Feet of Clay episodes from Batman the Animated Series. Here are the rumors so far for this film. Possibly going to be an R-rated film for intense horror and imagery. And there has been some set photos that hint at links to Gotham City and the Batman universe. We've seen Easter eggs for the Joker, we've seen it for the Penguin, we've seen actually Robert Pattinson's Batman logo on the set, which James Gunn has denied multiple times that Robert Pattinson is going to be the DCU Batman. However, the Clayface movie was originally going to be set in the Batman universe before it got moved to DCU. Right now, it is still up in the air whether Robert Pattinson will end up being the DCU Batman and they will move the Batman series over from Elseworlds to the DCU. But all of the hints that we have seen on the set for this film suggest that it is a likely possibility that we are going to be getting Robert Pattinson as the DCU's Batman. And the unknowns of this film obviously is how it ties to other DCU titles like Batman, etc. And the full cast beyond what we have already is not released yet, and we don't know the exact tone other than it's going to be a horror film practically. But I think it'll be pretty interesting having a horror film in the DCU, especially coming this soon when we don't have an established Batman yet. Or do we? And our final film that actually has a confirmed release date is Man of Tomorrow, which will release on July 9th of 2027. And this is the core Superman sequel in the DCU that will still be written and directed by James Gunn. So here is the confirmed cast so far. Obviously, David Corenswet will return as Superman, Clark Kent. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult will be back as Lex Luthor. Skylar Gassando as Jimmy Olsen. Sarah Sampaio as Eve Tessmacher. We have Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, Anthony Kerrigan as Metamorpho, Maria Gabriela de Faria as the Engineer, and Wendell Pierce as Perry White. I thought the cast of the original film was awesome, so I'm glad to see that most of them are coming back, and I think it's going to be a pretty good movie. The premise and the tone so far, obviously we're moving past the first film. Obviously, the first film was not even an origin story. It gave us that opening crawl in the beginning, 3 years into his career. So this is going to really expand upon Superman's legacy in the DCU and his place in the broader universe. And it is heavily rumored that there's going to be a massive dynamic between Superman and Lex Luthor in this film. It seems that they are going to have to team up to take down the villain of this film, who is rumored to be Brainiac, and it's said that he will be a long-term threat in the DCU, which I'm very pleased with. I don't want him to be a one-and-done villain. He is very impactful in the comics, so it's going to be important that he sticks around for a while. So I hope that he shows up again later down the road. And there will be a potential crossover with this film and the Authority, or possible cameo setups in earlier films like Supergirl for this. I think that Brainiac might actually get teased in the Supergirl film as well, especially if David Corenswet's Superman is going to make a cameo. The importance of this film is obviously it's a major anchor film for the DCU. It's the main character of the entire universe, so it has to be pretty impactful. I imagine that the tone for this film is going to be a little bit more serious than the last one, but it's still going to feel like Superman. And I think it's going to be a very big movie as far as scale goes for the future. I think the budget's going to be big, and I think it's going to make a lot more money than the first one did. But here's the unknown. We don't know who the full crew is yet. We don't know any other confirmed characters. Obviously, the villain is rumored. It could be Brainiac, but it's also been rumored that it could be Mongol. And we don't know how this is going to connect to the TV side of the DCU and how to make this universe feel even more connected. I know they connected Lex Luthor with Peacemaker, so we've seen him already. So they've already tried to integrate the TV shows into the film, which is awesome. So I hope that this movie continues to develop the connectedness of this universe in an impactful way. So up next, we have the movies or projects that are in development without release dates. But we don't have a ton on them. It's going to be very brief. It's going to go by a little bit quicker. But we're going to start off with The Authority. This is a morally ambiguous super team that is based on Wildstorm Comics, who do what others won't. It's rumored that James Gunn is co-writing this, and there will be a connection with the engineer from Superman and from Man of Tomorrow. The release date, like we said, is unknown. The director is unknown. The full cast is unknown. But we are still getting an Authority project. Then we have The Batman, The Brave, and The Bold. I said The Batman, The Brave, and The Bold because I honestly think there's a good chance that Robert Pattinson could end up being the Batman of the DCU. This would be a father-son story if it's going off the comics. It's Batman and Damian Wayne. He will be Robin, and it's a new legacy era film. However, I do not know if Damian Wayne is still going to be the Robin of this film. A lot of rumors have suggested it could be Tim Drake, it could be Dick Grayson, maybe even Jason Todd. But I don't know if Damian Wayne is still going to be the choice. Andy Muschietti is still attached as the director of this film at the moment, and there's been several other people who have been fan casted or rumored to be playing Batman in the DCU outside of Robert Pattinson, and that would include Alan Ritchson, Brendan Sklenar, Jake Gyllenhaal, Jensen Ackles. Even Henry Cavill has been proposed as a possible Batman. We will have to wait and see, though. Any cast for this is unknown. The date, we don't have an official date, but James Gunn did say that this film will come out before 2030. I doubt if it is separate from the Batman that it will come out anytime between now and 27. So it'll probably be 28 or 29 when it comes out. But we have to wait and see because we have no idea how Batman will fit into this DCU continuity other than being part of the Justice League. Then we have Swamp Thing. This is a gothic horror film exploring the supernatural side of the DCU, its environment, the monster, and the myth. And it's rumored that James Mangold is attached to direct this film. Cast is unknown, but Vincent D'Onofrio, yes, the actor who plays Kingpin, has expressed interest in wanting to play the character. So we'll have to wait and see about that. We have no idea how much integration with the broader DCU that this character will have, but it could be pretty interesting. Then we have the Wonder Woman film that is going to be showing up in the DCU, which is confirmed. It is still happening. She will most likely be part of the Justice League further down the line, and this film will likely tie into the Paradise Lost series, which explores the lore of the Amazon. As far as rumored castings go to play Wonder Woman, the most recent one I saw was Alexandra Daddario really wants to work with James Gunn. She has expressed her interest in playing Wonder Woman. However, she has expressed interest in just being part of the DCU. But that would be her top choice. Will it be James Gunn's? We have no idea. We don't know anything about the director yet. We don't know anything about any other cast, but Wonder Woman is on the way. Then we have the live-action Teen Titans film. This live-action project will feature a younger team of heroes, with Robin, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, and possibly Cyborg. And it is rumored that it could spin out of Brave and the Bold, with a younger generational focus. It is unknown any of the actors for this. There's been several people trying to cast Robin. Hopefully it is Dick Grayson's Robin. However, there are so many people who are throwing a fit about who should be playing this character because they say he's uncastable. We will have to wait and see. We don't know if it's going to be a light or dark tone. Honestly, I'd love for them to end up going against Deathstroke or Slade, like the animated show from the earlier 2000s. But out of all the projects that we've lifted so far, I honestly think that this may be one of my most highly anticipated projects. The Teen Titans should be great. This upcoming project is also another one of my most highly anticipated projects, and that is the Bane and Deathstroke film. This will be a villain-centric film, and we don't know yet whether the major DC antagonists are going to be united or pitted against each other, or maybe even both at some point in the film. It's rumored that Joe Manganiello is interested in returning as Deathstroke, and he wants to play it with a heavy, villainous tone. We have no idea about anything for Bane yet. We don't know where the story is going to go, how it interacts with the Batman film. We have no idea, but I'm hoping that Deathstroke sticks around for a while and that he is a main antagonist of the Teen Titans like I just mentioned. This could be pretty sick. And then we have the Sergeant Rock film. This is a World War II hero story. DC's Easy Company style is what it's going to go for, and it's going to be a period piece. It's rumored that it will be hybrid live-action / animated potential with time travel elements. Colin Farrell was recently talking about this. He said that he would love to be a part of it. I think he was in talks to do it. He has no idea where it's at right now as far as the story goes, but he has heard that it's going to happen. It's kind of up in the air right now, but he really is wanting this to happen, and he wants to be a part of the Sergeant Rock project. So Colin Farrell most likely will be attached to it. I just don't know in what capacity. Now we're going to talk about the TV series that we know of that do not have release dates, but they are in development. Starting off with Booster Gold, a time traveler hero from the 25th century. And this show is going to mix a lot of comedy, sci-fi, and heroism. And it's rumored that one of the possible actors who's playing this role could be Chris Pratt, who I think would play this role just like Star-Lord. We do know that he is very good friends with James Gunn and that he's going to be entering in the DCU at some point, but it may not be in this role. And Glenn Powell is also rumored to be in the running for this role as well, which I think he could do a great job. Then we have Waller, a spy ops series which focuses on Amanda Waller and Task Force X. And it also adds the government Black Ops dimension to the DCU. And we will finally get to figure out what Amanda Waller has been up to all of this time. Moving on down to Paradise Lost, which is a series set in Themyscira, which is the Amazon homeland, and it's going to focus on a political warrior culture before Wonder Woman. Maybe she'll have a possible cameo in this show. Maybe it'll set up her solo film. We don't know, but we do know that this film is being described as a Game of Thrones style show, so could be pretty good. And then we have the Blue Beetle series, which is a continuation of Jaime Reyes' story after the 2023 film. It's going to add that Latino hero focus in the DCU. And it's going to be pretty cool because we know that he is one of the few things transferring over from the DCEU. He made the cut, he made the reset. So it's going to be pretty cool to see his growth and just where he goes as a character in the DCU. And then we have the Creature Commandos Season 2. It's the animated Black Ops Monster Squad, which we already know is part of DCU continuity. Season 2 is confirmed, so if you haven't seen Season 1 yet, I recommend going and watching it. But Season 2 is on the way. And finally, we know that there's going to be a series about Mr. Miracle. It's a hero from New Gods mythos, scot-free, and it's going to have a cosmic and surreal tone. But other than that, we don't know much else about it. So, those are the shows that we have so far. We don't have release dates for, but we know they are in active development. So what exactly is the grand overall design here? Well, the first chapter of the new DCU is called Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And their strategy is releasing roughly 2 to 3 films per year plus multiple TV series, building an interconnected universe where storylines cross mediums. The tone is intentionally varied, from cosmic detective thrillers like The Lanterns, to horror films like Clayface or Swamp Thing, legacy and family stories like Brave and the Bold or Supergirl, to villain-driven films like Bane and Deathstroke, even period and war such as Sergeant Rock. And continuity is key. These aren't separate universes. They're all part of the same DCU, and they will build upon each other. For example, Lanterns may reference the events of Supergirl, or films may reference TV series, and etc. It's a multi-format design. It's not just the big screen, but it's big shows with TV and streaming, animation, there's team pieces, gaming, and even solo hero films. Essentially, this is the start of a full-on universe rebuild and expansion. Of course, with any ambitious slate, there are big questions. Release dates still shifting. For example, Lanterns just got delayed to later in 2026. Casting and directing may still change. Some announcements are still rumors. And some of these projects may end up getting canned. We don't know yet. We don't fully know how tight everything is going to interlink with each other, with every film reference or every show. Or will there be loosely connected stories? But major rumors that we need to keep an eye on is a future new Justice League film post Chapter 1, in the role of video games and animation. Coming for surprise crossovers, whether in the DCU is going to merge with the Elseworld elements in the Batman for the Brave and the Bold, we have no idea yet. But we need to keep an eye on this. I will be tracking all of that, and I will be updating you guys as new info comes out. Which one are you most excited for? Is it the cosmic detective feel of Lanterns, the body horror twist of Clayface, or the legacy story in The Brave and the Bold? Let me know down below in the comments. But with all that being said, that is all I have for today's video. And if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like. And if you want to see more DC content such as news, rankings, theories, lore videos, and more, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. I'm also on social media, and for live updates, you can follow me on TikTok at Nerds of the Multiverse, on Instagram at The Nerds of the Multiverse, and on X at Nerds of the Mult1. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the Nerd Bros podcast, which will be released every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on our new channel. With all that being said, I love you 3000, and I will see you in the next video.